Hello, I'm Mike Wild, and this is Bernard Newbury's fantastic double O gauge model railway called Waldbury. This is a double O gauge layout, and it measures 30 foot long from end to end, and it's 10 foot wide across the width. He modelled the late 1940s and the final years of the Big Four. So here at this station you're going to see Great Western, LMS, and also some other motive power as well. Some Southern motive power turns up from time to time. And it's very much a fictional place, but it's got all those fantastic features we like to see in a modern railway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you on a short tour of Bernard's layout and show you all the features there are to see. So to give you a quick overview of the features of the layout, it's DCC controlled using the DigTrack system, and Bernard's using radio handsets as well, which give him great freedom to move around the layout whilst he's controlling his trains. It's a double track main line all the way around, and there's also a bi-directional centre road which runs the full length of the scenic section from the station right down to the other end of the goods yard as well. And now that's a great place for us to hold really long trains here as well. So he's got, for example, a really long coal train behind a garret on the layout at the moment, and these are all really nice features of the layout. On the other side, just here, we've also got a multi-track storage yard as well, and it's actually divided into two sections. There's one mainline area for long trains, so you get sort of 10 coach trains and 30 wagon goods into there. There's another shorter section as well with a smaller number of loops as well. You get some shorter trains as well. Make things a little bit more interesting, there's also a branch line as well, and that diverts off in the back corner of the layout there and swings around to its own siding inside the storage yard as well. Typically we'll see on there a short goods train, maybe with a pannier, or he's also got an auto train as well, which shuttles back and forth and then uses the brilliant crossovers at the centre of the layout to move from the branch line across into the bay platform in Waldbury Station. Taking a journey around the layout, the train enters the scene and crosses a really rather impressive curved river bridge. The river curves underneath it, with the railway going across also on a curve as well, and that uses Will's very girder for the framework for the bridge as well. It's a fantastic place to watch the trains go by, and it's one of the things that caught my eye straight away when I came into this railway room. After it's crossed the river bridge, it then moves on to pass behind a really nicely scratch-built house. But behind that, there's also a small engine shed as well, which has got space for about half a dozen locomotives, maybe a dozen at the most. And there's a two-track shed there, as well as a coaling stage, a turntable using the ADM indexing turntable system, and a few other features too. Immediately after the locomotive shed, we move into the station area. There's a 4-platform station here, which is able to take long trains as well. So 3 of those platform faces are for mainline platforms, so we've got one each for each direction, plus a loop at the back as well. And there's also a bay platform here as well at the other end of the station. Alongside the bay, there's also some parcels platforms. You've got some really nice fruit and veg being loaded into a van. There's also a mail van as well being loaded, milk churns going into another, lots of things going off. Now, one of the detail things to mention about the station is there's some detail modelling about Bernard's past here as well. Looking on the station forecourt, there's a young boy dressed in a red blazer, and that actually, Bernard says, models him as he was dropped off by his dad in the same Jaguar that sat outside the station to go meet his friends who are at the other end of the station waiting to go to boarding school. After the station, we see a large gantry signal box which crosses the 3 main lines at the station throat, after which there's then a large junction which gives access to all the different routes in and out of the station, so it allows the auto train, for example, to enter from the branch into the bay platform. It also allows freight trains to move in and out of this substantial goods yard at the other end of the layout as well. Behind that there's another big warehouse factory which has ingoing steel plate and seems to be turning out completed rolled boilers, so no guess as to what that factory's for. After the factory, the main lines start to separate, so you've got the branch line taking off to go on its own route, plus the 3-track main line heading towards the end of the layout. In the foreground there's a huge coal yard as well, and that's capable of holding long lines of coal wagons waiting to be loaded or to be loaded, and Bernard's very cleverly made magnetic coal loads as well, which means you can pick out the coal loads from the wagons really easy to replicate either empty or full wagons arriving. Moving on to the end of the goods yard, and there's a really nicely built modified kit for the goods shed building, plus there's also a timber yard at the very end as well. Right at the far end of the line, there's 3 tracks which run down the centre of the spine of the scenic section. They will come back together into 2 as the railway runs back around into the storage yard. Now, Bernard's used lots of different ways of bringing together this model railway. His particular interests are in scratch building buildings, laying the track and doing electrics as well. He loves doing electrics, and he's got a really comprehensive control panel which takes care of all the operation of the layout. He's even got automatic stopping modules inside the storage yard to bring trains to a stop. He's also invested heavily in trees as well. He's been keen to have big trees in the layout and obtain those from a number of sources. Plus, he's scratch built pretty much all of the buildings and structures on the layout to replicate what you see here today. Now, Waldbury features in full in the February 2022 issue of Hornby magazine. So if you're seeing this online at Key Model World, you can read the feature right here, or you can pick up your latest copy of the magazine and read the full feature in print there and see all the brilliant photographs we've been taking today of Burnham's layout. I hope you've enjoyed this brief tour of Waldbury, which has been built by Bernard Newbury, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.